Hi everyone, today we're going to be looking at the websites of 5 LLMs: ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, MetaAI and Grok. So why are we looking at websites, you ask? Well, I happen to be someone who's been designing websites for a living for more than a decade now, and when I design a website, I know that I always embed a messaging for what the company stands for now, as well as what the direction is going to be heading in the future. So it's for that reason I decided to go into the websites of ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, MetaAI, and Grok to see for myself what is it that they're trying to convey about their AI assistants, about their LLMs through the messaging that they have on their website. And I'm actually recording this after I went through that entire activity because the thing I recorded before did not end up recording. I'm a YouTube noob, but I must say that I found this whole exercise very fascinating, and you'll see why. So we're starting with OpenAI's ChatGPT, and it's interesting that they also have some prompts in the first screen itself, so we know like what they're expecting someone to use ChatGPT for. So they're using this in incognito, so there's no way of knowing where I'm from. So summarize meeting notes. There's some stuff in Spanish, which because ChatGPT, I'm guessing, is available in many languages. There's something with code, gift ideas to my dad, write a thank you note, help me debug the code. Yeah, so they're just expecting a lot of use cases for like ideating, problem solving, inspiration, code, etc. So that's just what they lead with, making a lot of noise about GPT-5, which I'm really looking forward to get into in a similar fashion because while I'm using the model, I have very less clue about what is different. I think here in this story section, they're looking to capture all the types of use cases of ChatGPT. So in terms of positioning, I feel this website has a lot to be happy about because it's showing more and selling less, which is always a great place to be in. I think we can all agree that ChatGPT has been a pioneer when it comes to accelerating public awareness in AI, and I feel the website does just that. Now we'll move to Claude. And what I find interesting is on this right panel, they have some examples of not just what a user would type, but also what Claude will answer. What's interesting about these prompts versus the ones we saw on the OpenAI website is that these are way more specific. The website also, as a tagline says, it's the AI for problem solvers. So it's interesting positioning for sure. And Claude, actually, a lot of the developers I know prefer Claude to GPT. I don't know why, but soon I'll find out, I guess. What is Claude? It is safe, accurate, and secure. I like that they're being a lot more specific about this model versus like what ChatGPT did because it says it's for problem solving. It feels a lot more like code oriented. What should I use Claude for? Which is interesting and potentially redundant, the question, because I'm sure that the use cases that exist in the world for AI have far surpassed the use cases that could have been imagined by the people that are creating these models. So, yeah, I think you can, by now, we all know that you can use it for just about anything. So now we go on to Gemini, and the website says that meet the everyday AI assistant from Google. Interesting. This is quite a heavy promise. The reason I say it's quite like a loaded statement is everyday AI assistant and Google. Google by now has so much of our data, and hence I guess the integrations of Gemini will be way more powerful and way more seamless. That's my guess from other models. So if you're working a lot with G Suite, my guess is that Gemini would kind of integrate those things better. So I want to jump into OpenAI's website again just for a second because a lot of buzz around GPT-5 is about how it can be used as a virtual assistant, but the official positioning doesn't say any of that. at least on this one pager that I have here. Now to go back to the model that does promise a virtual assistant, Gemini. Let's just look at what they promise. They talk about videos, questions, images, the speech feature. They are also talking about the benefits like write in less time, learning, multitask, deep research. So you're kind of saving time. I think that point is definitely being driven home. Advanced use case where you're kind of writing instructions to create your own AI expert. And finally, you have code repositories and large files. Interesting that this is the last thing that Google talks about, because in Claude, this is one of the first things. So positioning wise, I feel like Gemini is more positioned to follow the masses. It's talking about like varied use cases. So it's going like and casting a larger net. But the code thing seems to be the last thing that they're talking about. So um, I'm already thinking that that's not the major focus by Gemini, but let's see. So that's it about Gemini. Let's go into Meta AI. This is the one that I have the least clue about. Personal AI that understands you seems to be the positioning for Meta. For some reason, Meta's the one model that I am most repulsed by. I think because it's a bit too in my face. From all of the prompts that I've been seeing when I've been bombarded by it, my guess is that they are going to be focusing very less on code, a lot more on the social stuff, talking about like conversational things and like ask me for advice, a lot more like of that social and relationship angle. So that's the positioning I have in mind. But let's look at what the website says. Does it talk about code and things like that? Add some magic to your videos. This is actually a good use case. So this is some magic to the videos. Use Meta AI for everything you need. Very, very vague throughout your day. Okay, let's look at something more specific. Bring Meta AI into your desktop workflow with advanced image generation, video editing, document creation, and more. So it's talking more about like content, which is interesting. So they are not focusing that much on code, or not at all at code. With advanced new features and enhanced desktop experience, you'll be able to tackle any project. They're also focusing on wearables. So it's also kind of doing the cool thing. So the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. I'm guessing even the Oakley does Meta glasses. So interesting. So they're looking at a very different use case of AI, which is a lot more social, a lot more human. I think Meta is one of the more accessible AIs because it's on everyone's WhatsApp, and so like everyone, mom, grandmoms will have access to this model. So I'm guessing like they're again just like Google, their net is cast wide. They're not going into specific use cases. But unlike Google, which is kind of being not so pushy about integrations on the with G Suite, I feel this one is being too intrusive through their apps. So yeah, something we can learn. Now going to the last one, which is Grok, and it starts with, what do you want to know? You tell me, Grok. So let's go. We have a sentence. Grok is your truth-seeking AI companion for unfiltered answers with advanced capabilities in reasoning, coding, and visual processing. What I find interesting is the use of the word unfiltered, because it almost implies that this is going to give you like the crassest of answers, and I feel this word in their positioning comes as a reaction to the criticism that ChatGPT is facing about like having very like happy-go-lucky responses and kind of enabling everyone saying you're on the right path, you're doing right, you're absolutely correct. And I feel the word unfiltered is used to kind of just make this model a lot like crasser. I haven't interacted with this model. We'll do that another time, but I'm just very curious about what how it would respond to something differently than ChatGPT, because I suspect that's the reason they've included this word. They are positioning themselves as like this intelligent, better than you kind of like presence, which doesn't come as a surprise, to be honest. So for deep, a trusted assistant for deep work, they talk about real-time search, which drives insights, which gains insights from X data. So that means they're using something very proprietary, which is a good differentiator for them. There's a lot of response when things happen on X. That's one of the fastest platforms people respond on. So from a real-time thing, that might be they do have an edge. Understand documents, supercharge your code, those are similar things. But dive deep with Grok Heavy, find meaning with Grok Think, discover profound insights with Grok Think, connecting dots and revealing truths in complex ideas. I find this very different from the other models, like the way that they have positioned their answering system or their thinking system, because unlike other models where I feel like they're a canvas for me to do stuff, I feel Grok is being a lot more authoritarian in its stance. From the positioning, what I gather is that it's kind of telling you that I'm smarter. I will tell you the facts for what it is. I'm not going to mince my words. That's the feeling I get from Grok. I feel like with everything that I've read, Claude and Grok seem a little bit different. Like they seem to be casting a slightly more narrower net, uh, where Claude is kind of doing that with developers, but Grok seems to be doing that more with like an attitude thing. That's my read on this. Yeah. Then we have Grok Voice. Of course, they spoke about visual processing, so what those visual capabilities are. They have some games. Why do they have games? Let me see. Oh, they do have games. Interesting. Why? Okay, I don't know how this works because I'm not able to use. I don't know why, but I'm going to die in Tetris and game over. So that's a good place to stop. So that's it for this session. We definitely just scratched the surface of everything there is to know about it. But one thing I can say for sure is that I learned more today than I did yesterday about AI. There are things that I'm looking forward to. Some takeaways for me is that I'm really looking forward to Claude. I really enjoyed their branding, their messaging, their specificity. So, really looking forward to giving that a spin. I'm also extremely curious about the word unfiltered in Grok's messaging, and I really want to understand what they mean by that. How crass are their responses when I turn in a prompt? So, looking forward to try that. With everything I read, I think I'm pretty happy about my choice of going with ChatGPT Premium at this point because it seems like the best match for me. It's quite a generalist, but it does everything. So far, I'm happy with that decision. In my next video, I'm going to be testing all of these LLMs with the same prompt and seeing what comes. So, join me for the ride if you're around.